Okay, in the last video, what we did is we put in our doors, our windows, our walls, and some components. And remember, we go back to 3D, we kind of see what we have going. We have a nice little house going with some windows and doors and a nice little kitchen. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we want to put a floor on this house and a roof, and then we're going to start giving it a little character with some different paint options. So let's go to level 1, and let's just put a floor in really quick. We're going to hit floor. All right, just like anything, we're going to make a selection over here, and we're just going to use a generic 12-inch floor. And what we're going to do is use a rectangle, and all I do is go from endpoint to endpoint right here, click, green check. Let's see what that looks like. All right, now I got a floor on my house. Let's go back to level 2 now, actually, because what we're going to do is we're going to put a roof on our house, and the roof would go on the second level. So let's click roof. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a basic roof on our house. So when we make a roof, we want to make sure that the roof has an overhang. If you think of your house, your roof actually has probably like a 1 foot to 2 foot overhang on it. So before we draw our roof, we're going to have an overhang. Let's do a nice 1'6" overhang. Let's click on the rectangle. And once again, up. When I clicked on the rectangle, you could see my overhang, which is now called the offset, because we're not picking walls, we're drawing a shape, went away. So let's try 1'6" again. And there we go. You can see it draws my line 1'6" away. And I could hit green check. And if you look, there is a nice little hip roof that we put on our house, which is fine. Let's go back and let's delete this. Let's try something different. Let's go level 2. We do roof. This time we're going to do our rectangle again. We're going to have our offset of 1'6". We're going to draw that rectangle. And now what we're going to do is we're going to click on this line. Look at when we have this line selected, right here is the slope that it makes of our roof. So what I'm going to do is if I come up here and take off the slope, and I click this side, and I take off a slope, and the line now has no slope, so the roof's not going to have any slope on these edges. Let's hit our green check, and it gives us an entirely different roof style. It gives us a little gable roof. Now, obviously, our problem is that our roof really isn't attached to our house, right? So no matter what roof style you do, what you could do is we could click on the right side up here. I'm clicking, and I'm holding down the left click, and I'm going and I'm selecting my walls. And what we're going to do is attach them. Oh, let's try it this way. Let's click one, right click, select all instances in project, and attach top base. Let's just attach them up there. And there we go. We have a nice little house now with a gable roof on it, and our floor, our roof. We got all the furniture and stuff we need, but the only problem is it's kind of boring. And if I come down here to this little cube, and then we have our visual style, let's change it to realistic and see what it looks like. And it looks like we live in communist China right now because everything's kind of gray. I mean, we have our doors and our windows that we use that have a little pizzazz to them, but our house is gray because remember we use their generic material for everything. So let's come here to the Modify tab, and right here is the Paint. And we hit Paint. There's some different textures and colors I could choose, so maybe I want a brick house. And I could go and click on my walls, and I can make a nice little brick house. Alright, let's go, and we have some asphalt shingles for my roof. There we go. And what other materials for our fascias? Let's put something on there. Maybe I'm going to put the same color as the door frames. There we go. And our house isn't so ugly anymore. Let's look on the inside. Let's click the roof. Now, if I want to see on the inside, and I don't want to delete my roof, what I could do is I could come down here and hit hide element, and now it kind of removes the roof so I could see on the inside. So if I wanted to paint my walls on the inside, I can as well. So let's go here to the Manage tab. The Modify. And if I wanted to paint the walls on the inside, and you could see there's not many colors and selections in here. Maybe I wanted some different colors because, parking stripe yellow isn't exactly the best. So to make some colors, it kind of goes the same way. All the window styles aren't loaded into the program because it could really slow down. So same thing with the paint colors aren't all loaded. So let's go into Materials in the Manage tab. And what we're going to do is we are going to make some new materials. So let's come down here to this little circle, the plus sign, to create new material. Alright, so I'm going to call this living room. Let's call it paint dash living room. Alright, and what we're going to do is go right here to the Appearance tab, and I'm going to click Replace this asset. Alright, and what we're going to do is I open up this folder, and I could come down here to paint, and there's just pink in there. Not very good. But if we go down to wall paint, we have glossy and matte, some different colors there. Not a lot of selections there. But if you come down to this folder and open it up, and same thing, look at wall paint. There we go. There's some colors for you. So you just got to kind of look around. And I'm a dark cadet blue type of guy. So I'm gonna click on it, and I hit these little arrows, and that will put it over here. Now, once you do that and you get in there, you're going to have to go to Graphics and put Use Render Appearance. Let's hit Apply. Okay. So now that color that we just created is available to use in the Paint tool. So I go to Paint, and remember we called it Paint Living Room. There we go. So I could go in there, and I could click on my two walls. Now, the only other issue is now I just painted this wall. It's actually kind of my bedroom, but when I painted the wall, it painted the inside of my closet too, which is kind of annoying because I wanted my closet to be a different color. So what we could do is we come right here above the paint and do split face. You select the face that you painted. Alright, what we're going to do then is draw a line from the top down to there and hit our green check. What that did is it split the face of that wall up into two regions. So now when I do paint, and on this one I am going to use the parking stripe yellow because I don't feel like making another one, I could paint those two different things. The other thing is look at how these walls are going up all the way to the roof. I attached them to the roof accidentally. I shouldn't have done that, but we should have a ceiling in this house, right? So let's go back to level 1. Or ceiling plan level 1 over here on the left, I'm sorry. And let's go to the architecture ceiling. And right now the default selection it chooses is this compound 2x4 acoustical tile system, which is, if you look up in our classroom, that's what we have. You wouldn't have that usually typically in a house, maybe in the basement. So let's go down here to GWB. That's gypsum wallboard on metal stud. And when we make this, it's going to make our height of the ceiling at 8 feet. I'm going to go up a little higher to 9 because if you remember, we have a 10-foot ceiling. And what you do is just click on the room. It looks like it does nothing, but I click on each one of my room areas. I go to this 3D, and you can see it kind of put that ceiling in for me. So if I go back to level 1, let's do this. Let's go up here to the house, click camera, click, and extend a camera view there. And there is my kitchen. Now remember what you can do. You could come down here and we could do realistic in our 3D view. Alright, you could see the blue I put in there. So if you wanted to add some color to your kitchen, you could. You can even put a tile backsplash in here. How would you do that? Well, if we went to the Manage tab, I'm sorry, I always do that. It's the Modify. All right, let's hit Escape. Let's go back to Modify. All right, and it's not going to let me do this in this 3D view. So I click on the house 3D view, and we need to hide our ceiling. So I click on my ceiling. Let's hide the element. All right, what we're going to do is click the split face. Alright, and what I could do then is I could even just draw a rectangle up however high I want it. Green check it. And now if I went to the paint, and maybe we'd have some sort of tile, and the same way I did the paint, you could do with different textures if you want a different tile, but I know there's some tile in here that I'm going to use, so if I go down here, here's just some mosaic tile. There I go, I could put in a mosaic tile backslash, and you could paint your walls different colors and kind of do different things.